Hi everyone, thanks for checking out another one of our video reviews. Today we're taking a look at the ASUS N550JK-DS71T. The T does denote it is a touchscreen computer. So what I'm going to do for today's review is not use the touchpad or mouse. And at the end of the review we'll take a look at the screen to see what type of fingerprints are left on it, which a lot of people do ask since it is a glossy type panel and a touchscreen. Let's go over the hardware with you real quick. It is a 15.6-inch IPS glossy type 1920 by 1080 touchscreen. The CPU is Intel's i7-4700HQ that does use the Haswell technology. It works at 2.4 to 3.4 gigahertz. Video card, we're looking at the NVIDIA GTX 850M. For RAM, comes standard with 8 gigs, but it is upgradable to 16 gigs. The stock hard drive is a 1 terabyte, 5400 RPM. That is also upgradable, so you can put a 7200 RPM, or even better yet, get an SSD drive in there, really get faster read-write times. It does come with an optical drive. It's a DVD, CD, reader-writer. That can be changed to Blu-ray capabilities if you like, so Blu-ray reader or burner. For the wireless card, we're looking at a built-in ABGN and the new AC standard compatible. Does include Bluetooth with it. Windows 8.1 is pre-installed. The warranty is going to be a 1-year manufacturer's OEM warranty on there. Does include 1-year accidental damage protection. You do need to register that within 30 days, but it will protect you against drops, spills, fires, and surges. For the weight, we're looking at 6 pounds with the battery included, 15.1 inches wide, 10 inches deep, and just 1.1 inches high. So let's take a look a little bit more in depth into this computer. We're going to do a boot up time test. Again, this is a 1 terabyte 5400 RPM. If you want faster boot time, 7200 RPM, or even better yet, SSD drive. But I'll go ahead and hit start and turn it on at the same time, and we'll try to stop it as soon as we get into Windows. A little bit of this time is, of course, going to be for the post as well. In about 37 seconds until I got to the Metro interface here. So not a horrible time, not as fast a time if you've watched the previous ones. I think the GS or the GS70 or 60, forgot which one it was, but I had a 13-second boot time. That was with an mSATA drive. This will have the 2.5-inch regular hard disk drive bay. It does not have mSATA ports on there, but you can put in a standard a standard SSD in the place of the hard disk drive if you're looking for something faster. We're going to take a look at the screen viewing angles. Again, this is a 1920 by 1080 glossy type IPS screen. According to ASUS's website, this should have a 178-degree viewing angle on there. And again, it is a glossy type, so you may see some reflections as I turn it around. If you watch some of our other video reviews, you wouldn't have noticed that at all. I know I didn't. So right now we're dead on. And we'll spin it off to the side. And we will lose some brightness just because the camera, I'll adjust that as we need to. And there's those reflections showing up as just mentioned. Let's see if we can get it dead on. Hard to tell, but I would say 178 degrees, pretty accurate here. Let's spin it off to the right. Adjust the settings. I'll go ahead and lean it forward and drop it back. And we'll take it all the way down till the screen turns off. See if I need to adjust that at all. It does lean quite a ways back there. Still looking good. I'll zoom in a little bit anyway. Adjust our focus. There you can see that. And let's go back out so I can show you how far that is actually leaned back. All right, and that gets us a good look at the viewing angles of the computer. Take a look at the keyboard and some flex. This is a chiclet type keyboard. It does have the 10 key number pad off to the right, which is common with 15.6 inch or 17.3 inch computers. Typically will include that. The keys themselves, the build, the flex on there, it's a very good build on it. The touchpad, just one flat, no separate left or right click on there. There's just a little white bar just to show you where the left click and the right click is. It's right in there. It's a good smooth feel to it. The keyboard itself, you may be able to see this, you may not, but it is built into the, well, I don't know the way to describe it. The chassis, the spaces in between the keys are all a unibody, if you will. It's just the keys that come through. But for the flex, you can see just normal typing. You're not seeing it really flex at all. If I try to make it flex, there's going to be a little give right there, but nothing out of the ordinary. Normal typing should be a very comfortable experience for you. Let's have a look at the connectivity ports. Starting off on the back left-hand side, that's your AC adapter, so that's where your power is going to go in. And the plug itself is set at a 90 degree, so it'll sit flush right there. That's where your subwoofer is going to plug into, followed by your Ethernet port. It looks a little small, but it's on a latch, so when you plug it in, it'll open up to hold it tight. Followed by your HDMI, mini display port. Got two USB 3.0 ports on here. Now normally we would see blue tabs for 3.0. As you can tell, these are black. You may not be able to see it, but there's a little SS on these, which stand for the super speed, letting you know that it is a 3.0 port. This is your microphone / headphone. So it's a combo port. You can only use one or the other. Coming off to the front here, we'll go ahead and go over the status indicator lights. Since they're fairly large on this one, I think you can see that okay. This is just your power indicator. That's your power plug-in, so if you know you're running off the battery or if your AC adapter's not plugged in or plugged in. Right now we don't have it plugged in, so it's not lit up. Hard drive activity light, got your Wi-Fi there, and then your caps lock indicator. So if I hit caps, you'll see that turn on. It might not be lit good enough for you to actually see that. But I can see it's turning on and off. You might be able to see this little something there. That's really about it on the front side. Moving off to the right, starts with your secure digital multimedia card, your memory card reader here. Another USB 3.0 port. Again, there's a little super speed logo that's off to the side. Got your optical drive next. And this comes standard with a DVD CD writer reader. Blu-ray is available if you want to upgrade that. It's something that we could take care of for you. And then your Kensington lock off to the side. The back, pretty plain. Normally this is where we would see exhaust ports. Those would be off to the front or the back, the sides, but there are not any exhaust ports on the back here. And we're finishing it off where we started off on the left-hand side. Just want to show you quickly where the exhaust ports are on this. Hopefully you can see that, but here are 3 vents on the back. And it's really hard to see these. And you normally can't see it there. With the screen open, it does cover those up, so you really have to angle it up, and then you'll see them down at the bottom there. Alright, gonna run some 3D Mark 11. Check out some results here. As you can see, I got the decibel meter and the microphone set up where we normally have them off to the left there. As I'm talking, we're gonna see the decibels anywhere from maybe 66 to maybe 70 decibel on there. Room ambient noise with nothing going on, probably around 40. Let's look. So about 42. As we're doing this, we'll go ahead and take some thermal pictures like usual so you can see where the heat is being generated. Take a look at the keyboard, exhaust vents. Now this model didn't have like a normal exhaust vents that you would normally see with the gaming computers. That would be here on the back. So I've put it back to the side where we normally have it. .3D Mark Vantage has been running a little goofy. As you can see, there's no overall score. Went ahead and ran it 3 times and it still does the same thing. So decided to go ahead with these results, since it does still show the GPU score there, 19,759, and a CPU score of 22,845. Now we did have hardware monitor running, and what you'll see there is the temperatures for the CPU, looking at 83 to 86 Celsius. Again, hardware monitor did not pick up the GPU here either, so I had MSI Afterburner running. Probably can't see that very well. Let me see if I can adjust things at all. But don't think you'll see it very good, but it is a max temperature of 74. So really low temps for this GPU. A little higher than ideal for the CPU, still manageable. Again, better thermal compound will probably fix that up a little bit, but that gets you your results of the 3D Mark Vantage. Also ran Crystal Disk here. You'll see it's a lot slower than we're used to. Again, that's at 5,400 RPM hard drive on there. Throw a solid state drive in there and you can get up to 550 megabytes per second with the right drive. 3D Mark 11's finished up. Again, this is the GTX 850M 2 gig version. See our score there, 4,594. Our graphics score, 4,472. Physics score, 6,584. Combined score, 3,684. Now this computer is very, very quiet when it was running 3D Mark. Kind of reflected in the score there. Wouldn't be considered a gaming computer per se, but the GTX 850 definitely can handle some gaming performance if you like to do some casual gaming or the high-end games and don't worry about being high frames per second on your top-end ultra or max settings. Let's take a look here. I also had CPU monitor going here. So right here in the temperatures, we're seeing low 80s, 82, 83, 84. Respectable temperatures there. This is with stock thermal compound. A better type like IC Diamond may help you out better there. This is back to the 3D Mark, the regular screen. I guess earlier we were looking at the web page. And then MSI Afterburner to look at the temperatures here. You probably can't see it. Max temps 79 degrees. So good temperatures. For the CPU, the GPU, respectable score. Very quiet computer. It looked like the majority of the heat was coming from the bottom of the computer. There are a couple vents there we'll take a look at as we look at the bottom of it. But there's your 3D Mark 11 results. Going to take a look into the BIOS. From a cold boot, just hit the power button and continually tap F2. You'll get into the BIOS. So first page, main page, gives you an overview of the computer, the CPU in it, the amount of RAM, serial number. Only thing that you can change here is the system date and time. Go over to the advanced. We have the Start Easy Flash internal pointing device, which would be your touchpad. You can enable or disable it. Wake on, lid open. Power off, energy saving. Those both enable, disable. Intel virtualization technology, Intel AES-NI, and VTD, all enable, disable. Got your SATA configuration on here. You can take a look at the CD-ROM and the hard drive that's installed. Graphics configuration. Since this does have an integrated video card along with the dedicated one, you can allocate video memory from your regular system RAM to the Intel HD video card on there. Probably won't use that a whole lot since you have the dedicated video card. Intel anti-theft technology. You can enable, disable that. USB configuration, basically just the legacy support. And the XHCI pre-boot mode, Smart Auto, typically what you want to keep that on. Got your network stack, disable or disable. Excuse me, enable or disable. Got your boot, fast boot, enable, disable. You got your launch CSM and then your boot priorities. You can add or delete your boot options there. For security, you got your admin password, master password, I/O interface security, so the LAN interface, wireless network interface, HD audio, SATA ODD interface, and USB interface security on there. And save and exit. So that brief overview of the BIOS, again, pretty limited, pretty standard for notebooks. To get out of here, you can hit escape, or if you want to save any changes, F10 will be save and exit. I'm not going to save anything, so I'll just hit escape. Exit without saving, hit yes, and then the computer will go back into its regular boot. Let's have a look at the bottom of the computer. I have it flipped over here. The front of it is facing this way. The back is over that way. There are going to be several screws around the perimeter. They're not your standard Phillips. They are a star type, and it takes a T5 size to undo those screws, but not a whole lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 of them. I've went ahead and already done those. Once you have, you can just lift it up and pull it away. There's not any type of cables or anything you have to worry about disconnecting before you do so. So just take this off, move it off to the side. And that gets you to the internals of the computer. So let's take a look at what we have here. Starting at the back left, this is going to be the hard drive. Again, you can remove that, put a better drive in there. Your optical drive is right here. It comes with a DVD, CD standard. There is Blu-ray available. Here's the wireless card. It's the Intel 7260. And then in the middle, you can also see where those vents I was showing you earlier line up. So on the left-hand side, this is going to be the GPU exhaust. On the right-hand side is going to be the CPU. The CPU is right here. The GPU is underneath there. You'll see the heat transfer pipes. Brings it over to the vents where it gets cooled off by the fans exhaust out the back. This one doesn't look like it has anything on it, so it must just be for aesthetics to keep the 1, 2, 3 there. This one over here is your CPU. And again, CPU right there. Heat transfer pipes over here. Exhaust out the back. Right in the middle, 2 RAM slots, and they are both removable. It comes standard with 8 gigs. That can be taken out. Second one can be added onto it, and it is going to be upgradable to 16 gigs of RAM, 1600 megahertz. Got your battery right in here. And then you'll see some speakers right in front. So 1, 2, 3, 4 speakers. And that will take care of what we can see from the bottom of the computer. Well, that's going to about finish up our look at the ASUS N550JK-DB71T. Again, the touchscreen computer. Just overall impressions, very good, solid build on it. The N series are more of a multimedia computer if you want some gaming capabilities, which by the 3D Mark results, it definitely can run pretty much any game that you throw at it. Now, if you want max settings, ultra resolutions, high frames per second, it's not going to be the right one for that. But for casual gaming and something that's going to run quiet, definitely a good option to check out. So thank you so much for taking your time to check out the N550. This was XOTIC PC's review, so check us out. It's www.xoticpc.com. You can email us at sales@exoticpc.com or give us a call. It's 1-877-289-9684. And subscribe, like, and leave any comments or questions below. Thank you so much again.